This video will use incremental analysis to help us make a decision on whether we should sell a product as it is or process it further and add value and then sell it for a little bit more money. So the problem I've put together for you deals with a company that makes coffee out of beans, and all of the data is listed here for you. If you want to read through that, you could pause the video, or some of you have had this available to you and hopefully have tried to process it prior to watching the video. So what I'm ultimately asking you here is, should we sell the beans as they are once we make them into coffee for $10.80 a pound, or if we process them further, they go through some sort of I don't know, manufacturing process where the beans are turned into decaffeinated coffee, and if we do that, we can sell the ground beans for $12.50 a pound, so they sell for a little bit more. So the question, when we do that, we have additional costs that we're introducing into the process, and we have some loss of beans through the processing and pulling the caffeine out. So given all of this information, using incremental analysis, I've set it up like this. We have two options. We either sell it as it is or we process it further. And if we sell it as it is and I go back and I pull data out of this problem, I can sell it for $10.80 a pound. So if I sell it as it is to $10.80, if I process it further, the problem tells me that I can sell it for $12.50 a pound. Now if I sell it as it is, the problem told me that my bean costs are $5 a pound, and I wouldn't process them any further, so I'd put 0 there. So my net income per pound is the $10.80 minus the 5. So I make $5.80 per pound on caffeinated coffee. Now to figure out whether I should process it further gets a little more complicated. For one thing, we have to deal with this loss, or they call it shrinkage. Actually, the product shrinks for whatever reason, and we lose 5% of the product because of evaporation. And we have a $10,500 cost to turn them into decaffeinated. So here's how I would lay this out. We start with 8,000 beans. That's how much a batch is. But if we lose 10%, that means we're going to end with not 8,000 but 90% of the 8,000. So we're going to end with 7,200 pounds that we can then sell. So my bean cost per pound is not $5. If I were to just sell them as they are, what would happen is I would have total bean costs of, watch this, 8,000, that's how many I start with, times the $5 per pound of beans. That would be $40,000. If I process that $40,000 further, it turns into 7,200 pounds. So instead of doing this, taking the 40,000 divided by the 8,000, which gives you $5 per bean pound, I have to take that 40,000 and divide it by how much I end with. So really my cost per bean, per pound for the beans, goes up to $5.56. I'll round to the nearest penny. So it's cost more because I have that evaporation. And then the further processing costs, what they tell us is we have to pay $10,500 to process it into decaffeinated coffee. Now, how I'm going to get that into a per pound cost is I take that and I divide not by the 8,000, because that's not how many I end up with. I end up with only 7,200 pounds. So to round it off, it's about $1.46 per pound to process it further. So now, if I were to process the beans further, I could sell them for $12.50. My bean costs go up, and my processing costs have to be incurred. And look at what happens. I have a net income per pound of $5.48. So although I can sell them for more, the answer to this problem using incremental analysis is that I should continue with I shouldn't even offer the decaffeinated coffee, assuming that I don't have capacity, and there are other things that go into this making the decision. But just if I have the option of only to sell caffeinated only or decaffeinated only, I should sell as many caffeinated because I make more per pound. So that's how you use incremental analysis to determine whether we sell a product as it is or process it further.